You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva and knowledge lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Welcome to the lounge, ladies. I know y'all in for a surprise. Y'all did not know y'all was going to get 2 uploads in one day. But hey, what can I say? All of y'all deserve it. Y'all been so patient. Y'all been hanging in there with me thus far. Definitely appreciate y'all. Y'all been sharing the content. Y'all been liking the content. Slowly but surely getting me into the algorithms. So I definitely got to thank y'all for that. I cannot make this happen by myself. You know, a lot of content creators, we don't give our subscribers enough of acknowledgement and respect where it's due. But trust and believe, we cannot do it by ourselves. So by y'all showing support, sharing the video, liking the video, that is what's giving us the ratings, the views that we definitely need. So I appreciate all of y'all for doing so. Also, feel free to share this on your Facebook, on your Instagram. Share it everywhere. You don't have to just limit yourself to sharing it on YouTube. Invite your girls, invite your friends to my channel. I definitely would appreciate that. So you know I'm not going to disappoint. So nevertheless, let me get into this right away. Once I posted this in the community tab, y'all ladies jumped right on it. And when I told y'all that I would be uploading a content on the Power of the Succubus. And I thought it was imperative that I discuss the Power of the Succubus because it's not too many people that are addressing the severity of, you know, how powerful the spirits of other people are. We take it for granted. We really don't understand the detriment when we get ourselves sexually involved with people that are spiritually damaged, with people that are spiritually demonic. We don't understand the severity of the damage, of the catastrophe that it can bring into our lives. And I thought this was a very well needed message, because it's so many men and women that are playing Russian roulette with their temple, with their bodies that God has given all of us as a gift. Your body is not something that should be shared recklessly and loosely with any and everybody. Our body is a temple. It's a covenant. And when we don't respect our bodies as a temple, when we don't respect our bodies as a covenant, what it does is it leaves the door open to the enemy being able to infiltrate us through the flesh. When you don't protect your spirit, what happens is the flesh takes over. And we know the flesh is weaker than the spirit. Once you use your spirituality, your sensuality, once your spiritual discernment goes out the door, once your common sense goes out the door and you allow lust and you allow flesh to basically rule you, what tends to happen is you leave yourself open to the enemy. And when the enemy sees there is an entrance, and that entrance is no longer protected by the spirit, what tends to happen is the flesh has its way. And when the flesh has its way, what happens in results of that is that you end up basically becoming a target of the enemy, in which you end up basically mentally destroying yourself, financially and spiritually. And this is basically what's going on with Martell. And this applies not just to Martell. This applies to any married man or married woman who puts herself in a position in which she has broken the covenant of her marriage, which she has violated the vows of her marriage, basically betrayed God by not honoring those vows, by not honoring that covenant, is bigger than you just losing your house. It's bigger than you just losing custody of your kids. It's bigger than you just losing your husband or your wife. You have lost respect from who? From God. And who is bigger than houses? Who is bigger than marriage? God. Because God is the orchestrator of your life. He's the author of your life. And most importantly, when you make a covenant before God and you say your vows, you basically have made a promise or an oath to God that for better or for worse, for sickness and in health, that you will respect your vows. Regardless for the good times, the bad times, whether it gets better or worse, for richer, for poor. Nowhere in the vows does it says, if my wife is not satisfying me enough, if my husband is not satisfying me enough, that gives me full access or permission to break that covenant, to violate those vows, and please and fulfill my own sexual needs, even if it means breaking the covenant of God. Okay? So, first off, what is a succubus? Because I know a lot of you, when you saw that title, you have an idea, but I don't want anybody having an idea or an assumption. So we're going to break down the elements of what exactly is a succubus. By the way, I think this is a very, very good sermon that I'm going to be preaching today. So please make sure you hit that like button right now, because y'all going to get so into the word that you're going to forget to hit that like button. So please take a moment and just hit that like button. I'm going to remind y'all later on to hit the like button, because we got to get the views out there. Listen, it's more than just getting my videos into the algorithms. That's part of it. But we need these married men to understand the power of the succubus. We need married people. We need the side chicks. We need people who are putting themselves in these demonic, perverse situations, and why they can't make sense of why their life is derailing, why things keep rolling downhill, it's not getting better, like with Martell. It's a reason because of that. You have encountered a succubus. Okay? And we're first going to explain and break down the elements of what a succubus is. So, most of the most known terms when it comes to the succubus, we label them today as coleslaw, slow slaw, whole slaw, side chick, Jezebel, appetizer, thoughts, committed prostitutes. There's different words. There's various terms for what we label these type of females. However, the term succubus goes more weight in depth, because it's not just a label. It's a spirit. Okay? That's the difference between using these terms, side chick, coleslaw, throwback thought, whatever terms that we use today. A succubus is a female demon or supernatural entity that appears. Now, this was the most known definition. Basically, a supernatural entity that appears in dreams to seduce men, usually through sexual activity. So, for the longest, during the medieval times, succubus was known as female demons who only interrupted men in their sleep. Okay? All right? That's what all these wet dreams, biologically, that's what we learn in science, but spiritually speaking, it is a female demon that would basically seek men in their sleep through their dreams. Okay? However, they're also known as, let me back up. Not only is it known as a succubus, but it's also known as a harlot. Okay, so basically, it was a female demon that only seemed to attack men in their dreams. However, okay, going into medieval folklore, how the term succubus came about. Succubi, which was really the term before succubus, was believed to come to men in their lustful phases, especially monks during that time, to seduce them and have sexual intercourse. Now again, like I stated, this was only an assumption based through their dreams. In other words, only the female demon would catch men off guard in their sleep, okay, while they were resting. They are said to have drawn energy from the men to sustain themselves, often until the point of exhaustion or death. And in some cases, succubi back then was believed to steal or kill their male victims, male counterparts. Now, again, I was speaking in terms of female demons that only would encounter men in their sleep. In terms now, that was the assumption. That was the one narrative of succubus, which was believed to be a harlot that only seduced men in their dreams, assuming like an imaginary demon in female form held to have sexual intercourse with men in their sleep. But, however, succubuses don't only have to appear in your dreams, but they also appear in your real life, serving the same purpose as what the succubus also does in your sleep, which means to seduce you sexually. So the succubus, I'm talking about side chicks, I'm talking about harlots. These women are no longer just entering in dreams. They are actually entering into these men's lives in real life. These are the ones we label as side chicks, harlots, thoughts, Jezebels, which are demonically known as a succubus. And this is the reason why I'm talking about the succubus. So the succubus is a demon in a female form that uses her sexuality to seduce men. Meaning she dresses a certain way, she carries herself a certain way, she intentionally carries herself a certain way to draw or attract the attention of lustful, weak-minded men whom she can easily seduce. Okay? A succubus needs semen to survive. In other words, she has to constantly have sexual intercourse with one overly sexually perverse male to feed her demonic needs, or multiple men. Now the succubus, most of the time, it's easier for her to capture men who are lustful and men who lack discipline. Meaning they don't think with the head upstairs, they think with the head downstairs. Most lustful, weak men are the succubuses. That's her dream come true. She wants to target a man that's weak. The succubus wants to target a weak man that's led by his dick and not his discretion. Okay? So a weak man that's led by his dick and not his discernment has repeated sexual activity with the succubus, which usually results in a bond being formed between the succubus and the man. Because keep in mind, even the scripture says, even when a man lays with a prostitute, now he has bonded with her. Now they have become one flesh. This is the very reason why sex was supposed to be designed for only married people. Okay? All right? Sex for married people, it was designed that way because sex is what keeps the marriage bonded. It's what keeps the marriage sacred. It's what keeps the marriage solidified. But the problem is we have all the incubus and the succubuses who have used sex for their own selfish, lustful intentions. And that is where the respect for sex has lost what God has created it for. That's why we have all of these outside children being created. That's why we got all these STDs, all these diseases, all of the chaos that comes from men and women having sex outside of the marriage or having sex and not married. That's where all of these problems have derived from. If people would have used sex the way God had designed it from the beginning of time between a married man and a married woman, no shadow of a doubt, we wouldn't have all these problems. Problems like child support, problems like single parent households, all of that would not exist if everyone created sex in the same way God had originally designed it for, between husband and wife. But we already know in the times we are living in that a lot of that has gone out the window, and that is the reason why there's so many men and women that are facing a repercussion of not utilizing sex the right way and for the right reasons. Okay, so a succubus is assigned. A succubus is assigned from the devil, and basically she is assigned to capture a weak man so she can kill, steal, and destroy him. And if you really take a look around, that the majority of these men who have been caught or exposed dealing with side chicks, which are succubuses, a lot of them we have seen most of the time have completely derailed. And that is what has happened with Martell. So I want to basically place most of my focus on him, because Martell is not understanding that once he got himself involved with the succubus, like a lot of these married men who have gotten involved with the succubus, you destroy yourself. And I've told y'all this several times, and even the scripture says a man who gets involved with the prostitute has reduced himself to a loaf of bread. Basically nothing at this point. So Martell is going around here infuriated with everybody. Martell is angry with the show because they're not highlighting the parts of himself that he wants the show to highlight. So he's angry with the show. He's angry with bloggers. The fact that, we keep talking about him, we keep calling him out, and most importantly, he's very, very angry with Mel. He's very angry with Mel, and it's easier for Martell to be angry with Mel, be angry with the bloggers, be angry with the show, because for one, I can tell that Martell does not like pain. He loves to inflict pain, but he cannot handle pain. Okay? He can't deal with it. All right? So, in order for him to not have to encounter the pain that he has inflicted upon his family and upon himself, it's easier for him to lash out, be mean, malicious, and vindictive. And while he's angry with the whole world, what he's not understanding is Arion is his biggest opt. He's looking at Mel like Mel destroyed him. He's looking at the bloggers like we destroyed them. He's looking at Carlos. This is nobody's fault. As much as we want to blame everyone for enabling Martell, and I get it, the Tasha K's, everybody who's backing him up, it does not matter how many people support him. The truth of the matter is, what Martell is not understanding, as long as he keeps having sex with Arion, as long as he keeps being in the company, in the presence of Arion, he is going to continue to deteriorate and wither. Nothing but bad luck is going to keep coming his way, because what he does not understand, Arion was sent to him as an assignment by Satan as a succubus. She was sent into his life to destroy him. Now I know a lot of y'all wonder, what is it about Ariane? What makes her so special to where she was able to have so much control over him to where he lost his marriage, he lost his family? What was it about her? See, y'all looking at it from the natural eye. Okay, it has nothing to do with her looks, has nothing to do with her crooked, raggedy bun and her loss of edges, has nothing to do with any of that. What it has to do with is the fact that the enemy sent her on assignment. He recruited her into Martell's life to destroy him. Now, what is the bigger? A lot of y'all not understanding. One of the biggest tools that the enemy tries to destroy more than anything is not just families, but Satan himself. He loves to destroy marriages. Okay, because once he destroys marriages, that pretty much sets up a domino effect for many failures that's to come behind the division of marriage, which leads into divorce. Okay, when I mentioned earlier that the succubus is sent on assignment from Satan, her job is to kill, steal, and destroy. And if you look at it, that's exactly what Ariane has done. Thanks to Martell lacking spiritual discernment, she has basically killed a beautiful marriage, a beautiful family. She basically stole a marriage that was anointed through God. Kill, steal, and destroy. And basically, she has destroyed Martell. He's not getting that. He's not understanding that his enemy is the woman that he's laying with every night. The man who he's getting the succubus that's giving him sexual pleasure, giving him blowjobs, giving him head, giving him all of these sexual pleasures. What he did not realize was every time that he slept with her and every time that he's sleeping with her now, she is spiritually robbing him, slowly but surely making him wither, which is why Martell has not been able to prosper. Now he's thinking that more money from Mel will help him prosper. Getting custody of the kids will get him to prosper. He keeps thinking that more money is going to help him to prosper. What he's not understanding is until he gets rid of Ariane, everything he touches is going to wither. Anything he tries to go about is going to fail, because Ariane is the female demon that was sent on assignment to drain him and bring harm to him, and she has used her sex as a means to keep him in her clutches. Because if you think about it, there's nothing else there that's keeping him holding on to Ariane. Listen, the succubus does not have to offer nothing but sexual intercourse to keep a weak man in her clutches. Because if y'all think about it, that's the only thing that's keeping them there. Ariane is not offering anything else. She's not contributing anything else. That's all she has to offer. And because the enemy knows that most men that are led by their lust, versus being led by the spirit, a man that is led by his lust, he will easily fall prey to the succubus, because she is feeding his sexual demonic appetite. And until he gets disciplined over his sexual appetite, the succubus will continue to keep having her way with him, because she's going to always use her sex as a means to keep him within her comfort. And that is basically what's going on. So Martell, sir, what you're not realizing is that while you are angry with the world, the main issue that you are up against right now is that you are still fornicating and are sexually involved with the succubus. Ever since Arion has entered into your life, nothing good has happened for you. What you were gaining temporarily was not worth all of what you lost permanently. And while you're angry with everyone else, you're angry with people who you feel like aren't supporting you, people who are against you, the main person who's really against you is Arion. You don't see that because you're looking at what the instant gratification. You're looking at what you're getting out of her for the moment. But everything that you got out of her so far is the reason you have lost everything way more meaningful. And this is the problem, that he's not understanding. Every time he lays down with Arion, her spirit transfers with his spirit. And what has happened was they have now created a demonic bond between the both of them. So don't y'all find it kind of strange how both of them have tried to start their own businesses, but neither one has been successful? We've seen Arion try to be like Mel and start her own clothing line. She tried to sell her own Crocs that ended up being flops. Everything she has tried to accomplish, she has failed. She has failed at accomplishing. Everything she tried to do to get ahead, to progress, it has not been successful. Same thing with Martell. Martell, sir, everything you have tried has been an epic fail. Your wine didn't get anywhere. Your underwear line didn't get anywhere. Only line you've been standing in is Popeyes. Okay? He tried to do a children's book. That failed. He tried to go after Melody's product with Sugar Mama. That failed. He's thinking Mel not giving in is the reason he keeps failing. Nothing is going to prosper for him because he keeps entertaining and sleeping with the succubus. The succubus is sent on assignment to kill, steal, and destroy. Every moment that he's with Arion, every moment that he sleeps with Arion, her bad, poisonous energy has transferred into him and into his spirit. Why do y'all think that Melody ended up divorcing him? Let me tell y'all how that went. A lot of y'all think that Melody divorced him because she just flat out got tired and just couldn't take it anymore. That's part of it, right? But let's look at this deeper from a deeper spiritual perspective. This is why marriage is so delicate and so sacred. Let me tell you what made Melody really divorce Martell. First of all, when husband and wife come together, they are as of one. So, anytime somebody steps outside of that marriage and allows the enemy to infiltrate, meaning you are outside your marriage having sexual intercourse with a succubus, okay? Anytime you allow the succubus to come into your marriage and you have sexual relations, that means you have defiled the bedroom. That means you have defiled your marriage. So let me tell you what happened. Check this out. This is going to be a lot. I need y'all to follow me on this. This is going to be a lot. And if we could take a second to not chat for a minute, because I want everybody to kind of absorb this. Because when we get to chatting, we lose the message. Check this out. When Martell was having sexual intercourse with Arion, the succubus, realized he introduced Melody to a different spirit in his covenant. Okay? And because of that, what ended up happening was Melody's spirit could no longer be in agreement sexually or spiritually with Martell. Her body, her spirit, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, Mel could no longer connect with Martell as her husband because he had broken that spiritual covenant once he slept with Arion. He had broken that. He had defiled the bedroom. So when a man sleeps with a succubus, it changes the energy in the bedroom. It changes the anointing of the covenant of the marriage. So whether Mel wanted to ignore it or not saying she did, not saying she didn't, but the spirit was so heavy. It changed the spiritual dynamics of the marriage. That is why the marriage could not survive, and Melody no longer could love him or respect him the same, because when he slept with Arion, he changed the anointing of the covenant. He ruined it. He tainted it. He polluted it. You wonder why, if your significant other stepped out on you and they tell you when a person cheats on you or steps out on you, how it's never the same. It's because the spirit, he has changed the spiritual dynamics of the covenant. Because marriage is not designed for 3 people. Marriage is designed for 2 people. Nowhere in the scripture does it says man, woman, and side chick or side man. Okay? And God knew of this. That's why God was so strict and stern in his word about 2 becoming as of 1. But listen, once you sleep with another individual, you have damaged that covenant forever. Even if that person decides to stay with you and forgive you, unless that person truly repents, until they truly, sincerely make a whole new, have a whole new spiritual makeover and let God totally renew their life, that covenant is forever broken. And it's not to say that God can't restore or can't rebuild anything. God can do anything. God can make it brand new. But that person has to be willing to really submit themselves and be stripped of all their lust, all of their wrongdoing. They have to really open themselves up to let God completely restore them. And I'm not talking about doing just enough to look good and win your wife back, win your husband back. No, you got to completely restore yourself with God, because see, God knows when you mean business. So God is not going to fully restore you or fully renew you if he knows that you still have ill intentions in your marriage, which Martell did. And that is why God would never put it in Mel to reconsider giving him another chance, because God knew that Martell had not sincerely apologized. He had not sincerely repented for God to restore him. We all know that Martell does not want to repent. He just wants his marriage back so he does not have to be in a struggle. And that is why God intervened and said, no, I'm not letting you have your way with this anymore. And that's just the bottom line, okay? Going back into this is that we get back into the chatting. I just wanted y'all to really marinate on what I said. This is why a man cannot be so consumed with being sexually deprived that he's willing to take a gamble and lose his whole empire over something as minor as claiming he's not sexually pleased. Because see, one thing about the enemy, if he knows your weakness is sex, he's going to use that against you. He's going to use it to basically step outside of your spiritual realm and do things that he knows is going to pull you from up under the covenant of God. So what Martell is not understanding is when he slept with the succubus, he basically signed the deal with the devil. And see, that's the thing about the succubus. The succubus, once she has slept with you, she has deposited her spirit in you. Now, this is the other thing about dealing with the succubus. The reason why Arion is not able to leave Martell, and I know y'all been listening to the bloggers, and the bloggers are telling y'all from a human minded perspective, well, she won't leave Martell because she lacks low self-esteem, or she thinks one day Martell is going to marry her. All of that is true, but spiritually, getting down to the steak and potatoes at hand, if we're going to speak on this from a spiritual perspective, the real reason Arion cannot move on, cannot leave Martell alone, because you have to realize she has bonded with him. And the succubus, they can only survive through semen. Now, I know that sounds very basic when I make that phrase, but let me explain this to you in a certain way. Arion cannot leave Martell alone because she has gotten used to Martell depositing his spirit into her, which is also his semen. Okay? So, her leaving Martell alone would mean that she not only no longer has access to his spirit, but she no longer has access to his semen. She needs, and I know this sounds very nasty, but this is how the succubus operates. Arion feeds off of Martell's energy and his semen and his spirit. If he was to ever withdraw, take himself away from her, meaning no longer involve himself with her, he would no longer have sex with her, he would no longer have any dealings with her other than taking care of his son, she would completely derail. Arion cannot live without Martell. She has made herself demonically dependent on Martell. She cannot survive without him. That's why no matter what he does, no matter how much he disrespects her, no matter how he's able to sit up here and lie to her and make her believe he has to disrespect her in order to get, in order to stay on the show, in order to continue to keep getting gigs. We know that's the lie that she keeps falling for. This is the reason why she cannot leave him alone. They have built a demonic bond between one another. That's why she has no courage to leave him. She has no courage to go on without him. She's had many years to jump ship on Martell, and she can't, because she's demonically dependent. And because she doesn't have a relationship with God, Martell is Arion's God. And Martell thinks he is God. So therefore, both of them are demonically in bondage with one another. And that's the worst way you can ever become attached to somebody, is through a demonic bond. Not a spiritual bond like marriage. A demonic bond. Y'all only bonded through lust and mistrust. Being bonded through love and being bonded through lust is not one and the same. There was a demonic exchange. If you really think about it, Martell and Arion air mattress, they both are a lot alike. If you notice, both of them are on the same wavelength. Spiritually, demonically, mentally. Neither one of them can grow their businesses, like I mentioned to y'all before. Arion Air Mattress has tried to become a carbon copy of Mel and has not succeeded. Martell has tried to overstep and try to outshine Melody and has been unsuccessful. both of them are each other's downfall. But what has happened is, see, Martell and Arion, they are both on the same demonic frame of agreement. They both are on or are in the same demonic mindset as far as thinking Melody still owes them something. They both are in the same wavelength mindset as far as both of them having animosity towards Melody. And this is what happens when you become invested into the succubus. This is what happens. What Martell thought was that, for one, he thought he was going to be able to still somehow, some way, be able to profit off of Mel's misery. He thought he was going to be able to take her to court, take her for whatever she had, so he could still get some type of financial gain. And God said, no, you will not prosper off of your wicked doing. God honors marriage. God honors how we treat our significant other. Whether we do, whether we don't, it does not make God less attentive to how we treat our significant others. A man who findeth a wife findeth the good thing. And Martell's not understanding that because of how he disrespected that marriage and the fact that he showed no remorse. He has not, to this day, tried to do anything right. He has not taken care of his children. He has not sincerely apologized and meant it. I don't mean apologize because it looks good on the show, but because he has not sincerely backed up his apologies with his actions. And the mere big main logistics of it all is that he's still having sexual relations with the succubus. All of that is the main reason why Martell can't get ahead. It's funny how he's done everything but that. He's tried everything but that. See, the problem is, what I need Martell to understand why he's looking at all these bloggers, everybody dragging him, trashing him, bringing him down to filth like the human specimen that he is. The truth of the matter is, God can restore and change anything for anybody. We, at the end of the day, I don't get to decide. None of the bloggers get to decide. None of us get to decide how God blesses or not blesses those we think who deserve it or not. We truly don't get to make the ultimate decision. If Martell understood that through all of the bad things that he has done, all of the malicious things that he has done, all of the evil things he has done, God can change his whole life around for him if he did three things: repent, sincerely apologize, back it up with his actions, and take care of his children. And third, leave Arion alone. Meaning, stop having sex with her. Stop being in the public eye with her. Because while he's thinking he's disrespecting Mel, most importantly, he's disrespecting God. That's why his luck has been so hard on him. It's not Mel. Listen, Mel may have the upper hand as far as custody with the children and living arrangements as far as that goes. But at the end of the day, God really is the main one who really gets to dictate if Martell ends up still having success after such a significant downfall. God can still bless him. As much as I hate to say it, God can bless him if he would do those three things. God can still bless him with a business. God can still bless him with a healthy relationship with his children. God can still provide and open doors for him. But that would never happen because, for one, Martell thinks he is God. A man cannot humble himself and he cannot humble himself and repent to God, not if he's going around thinking that he is God. That is the first problem. Secondly, Martell does not honor his ex-wife. Even though Mel is no longer married to him, through the eyes of God, he still owes Mel that respect as her former husband, to not allow his mistress to attack her verbally, emotionally, and he should not be up there siding with Marceau, Maurice, anybody else who's attacking his former wife. Because why? God honors marriage, and even though they are divorced, God is still holding Martell accountable for how he treats Melody. Not only how he treats Melody, but how he allows other people to treat Melody. The fact that he has not checked his succubus, his harlot Arion, the fact that he has not checked people who came for Melody, the fact that he's up there joining the bandwagon, laughing and enjoying watching people attack Melody from a distance. What he's not understanding is every attack that Melody gets and he does not step in and interject and stop it, God is going to keep allowing his wrath to come upon him. For every time he ever laughed at Melody getting attacked, guess what? That's been God blocking his blessings every time. See, Martell is looking at it like Mel is blocking him from progressing. The bloggers are blocking him from progressing. Carlos, the producers of the show, no sir, you are blocking your own blessings because of how you are not respecting the covenant that God placed in your life as a man and as a leader of the family that you so happen destroyed and lost. God still holds you accountable, sir, for how you treat your wife, for how you let people come for her, and the fact that you don't defend her. You laugh and you snicker because you're so miserable and you're so evil and you're so angry with how everything transpired in your life because you caused it. You want Mel to suffer for the things that you have done. Do you not understand she has suffered enough? At this point in time, that's the least you could do. If anybody gotta listen, let me tell you something, Martell. If for once you actually let your actions be consistent and speak louder than your evil doings, God may spare you. But you're running out of time. If for once you can sincerely not only apologize to Mel behind closed doors, and don't be surprised if she don't accept it or she won't take it, because you, sir, you caused that. You owe her a private apology and you owe her an open apology. While you're going on Tasha K, steady spreading lies, steady spreading scandal, because you're too embarrassed to admit that you messed up. You said it one time, but you ain't acknowledged it no more after that. What you should have been doing is getting on platforms, being a tool to other men who too have made decisions like yours, or who are currently making poor decisions like yours. Use your mess as a message for other men. That's what you should have been doing when you went on Tasha K, telling other married men to not jeopardize their marriage for a succubus. What you should have been doing, instead of blasting out your wife, trying to badger her name, defame her, taint her character. What you should have been doing, sir, was using your mess as a message. What you should have did was got on the platform and said, look, I'm going to tell you what ruined it for me. I blame Mel for years because I did not want to face myself. But over these past years, I've come to terms and faced myself that I am my own worst downfall. I made the decision to not respect my vows, to not respect my wife, to not take care of my children. And because of that, it has costed me my blessing. It has stunted my growth. So the only thing I can do to righten my wrongs is, for one, I owe Mel a huge apology for how I disgraced her, disgraced myself, disgraced my family, how I became an embarrassment to our legacy. So all of you men out there that think that because this succubus is pleasing you and making you feel like you the king of the mountain, giving you all of the sexual fulfillment, making you think that she's giving you everything you're missing, keep in mind, this can be the very thing that's going to cause you to lose your whole empire. That's going to cause you to ruin your legacy. Learn from my mistakes. Don't do what I do. Do better than me. I'm a prime example of when you step outside of God's covenant and you don't respect your vows. This is what can happen. If Martell would take his bad choices and use that as a message, people would respect him a lot more, but it's going to have to come with him changing his actions. He cannot just feel bad about it for a month or two, then come April, he back to slandering Mel, back to blaming everybody else. Martell is going to have to be consistent and sincere, because the fake apologies and not holding himself accountable, sir, is not working for you. You're steadily losing. You're not winning. You tried it your way for a long time. It's not working out in your favor. What about, for once, doing it the right way, doing it God's way? Because the way you're going about it, you're not winning. You're suffering. You keep losing. But the biggest piece of the puzzle is you're going to have to let Ariane go. Y'all both have brought a curse upon each other. You have become a curse to her. She has become a curse to you. I'm going to need you to stop flexing your muscles. I'm going to need you to hang your ego on the shelf. I guarantee you, if you do it this way, watch doors start opening up for you. But I'm going to let you know one thing. The moment God opens doors for you and you start showing your behind and you start back sneaking and creeping and sleeping with Ariane, God is going to shut those doors even quicker than he opened them. The succubus is the reason why you cannot grow. You cannot elevate. She's a curse to Martell. Everything, for one, when something starts off wrong, it's going to end up wrong. The way Martell and Ariane Air Mattress met each other, it was a recipe for disaster to begin with. The way he met her, he will never get blessed by still dealing with her. Because he cursed his marriage by getting involved with her in the first place. And he thinks because Melody divorced him, now that is free game, he can be with her freely. No, sir. She helped you. She assisted you in breaking a covenant with God. She will never be a blessing to you. The only thing you were supposed to do from that point on was leave Ariane alone and take care of a little helmet from a distance. That's it. But the fact that you are in the public eye with this woman's claiming you, and you're up here disgracing your marriage, even though you no longer have that marriage, you're further causing more disgrace. You're adding more fuel to the fire by still fornicating and publicly being out in the open with this woman. She's a curse to you. Ariane is not your blessing, Martell. She destroyed everything you built thanks to you. The most sincere you ever been, Martell, was when you said that you should have stayed home that night. You should have never stepped out. But this is the problem. Your lack of sincerity has outweighed any genuine sincerity, if any, that you try to display. All of your bad is outweighing your good. You don't have much good for people to go on. I guarantee if you stop dealing with your succubus, God can still restore you. God can bless you with things where you can be a better father to your children. Where you can have financial income without having to take Melody to court every other month trying to scam her or trying to slickly get your way into getting money from her. If you let God restore you, you don't have to go about getting what you want in malicious and mischievous ways. God could have blessed you a long time ago. You know how many men have messed up, Martell, and God still blessed them? It's a lot of men out here who are divorced and still got good businesses. God still blessed them with good wives. God still blessed them with more children. God still blessed them with a good life. Your life could be better if you left the succubus alone and repented to God, apologized to your wife, and stop allowing ex-wife and stop allowing people to attack her. God holds you accountable, sir. Because let me tell you something. As a man of the household, you are a leader. Well, you are supposed to be a leader. And what you did was you allowed your leadership to be led by the devil. That's what happened. And what further happened is because you kept sleeping and fornicating, committing adultery with the succubus, all of her evil ways, her evil spirited ways transferred into you. Do you not realize your spirit with your wife was conflicting with the spirit of the succubus? That's why, Martell, 1 minute you happy, next minute you sad. 1 minute you in a good spirit, next minute you snapping. Sir, you got two different spirits that you're carrying within you. You was carrying the spirit of your wife, your ex-wife now, and the succubus. They both was in conflict within you. Because you had created a spiritual bond with both of them. And when one spirit no longer wanted to be in combat with the succubus, that was when Melody made the smart, wise, ultimate decision to leave. Because her spirit no longer wanted to keep battling with the succubus. Now, this is the problem. Even though she has departed from the marriage, you are still allowing your succubus, your spirit, your problem that you created, you have allowed that succubus to still attack your wife, the mother of your children. Because let's just say that. Melody's no longer married to you. You are still allowing the succubus to attack the mother of your children. Don't think for a second that God is not holding you accountable for that. Now, however you choose to still deal with the succubus, that's your personal business. But keep in mind, every time you allow any outsiders to disrespect Melody and you don't put them in your place, keep in mind that you are displeasing into the eyes of God. He's displeased with how you have allowed this. Listen, part of being a leader is not just leading how to run the house, how much money should be spent. Leading also means being able to own up and take accountability by being the first one to make it right. You can lead in changing the dynamics of this by finally reaching that space and place in life where you got to go to God. That's the first, the biggest, the main one that you owe an apology to, Martell, is God. Because you have disgraced him. You have embarrassed him. He did not bless you with the gift of a wife for you to be as trifling as you have been. He did not bless you with the gift of having children for you to be a neglectful, poor example and poor excuse of a father. He did not bless you with a family to be a disgrace, to be a burden to your family. He blessed you with the family to be a blessing to them. Just because the marriage is over, you need to take the little fuckboy shenanigans, get rid of all of that, and man up and become a blessing. You still could become a blessing to your children and your ex-wife right now. It's never too late. But the problem is, the reason why you don't want to do that is because you know no matter what you do, you're not going to get your marriage back. That's why you don't feel you owe it to Mel or you owe it to your children to change and better yourself. Because you feel like if you're doing it for nothing. Because at the end of the day, you know Mel not coming back. At the end of the day, you know your kids are going to be, you're only going to be limited to see them, you know, through court orders or whatever. That's the only reason you really won't repent or step up, because you're not going to get what you want. But what you don't realize is what you need is not for Melody. What you want is not for Melody. What you really need and want, you need to go through God for that. Because what you need ain't enough money that's going to be able to fix it. Because you have a whole lot of mental issues going on in your life right now. No woman can't fix that for you. There's not enough sex. There's not enough blowjobs. There's not enough head. There's not enough of sexual fulfillment that a woman can give you to make you feel whole. Some of us got buried childhood issues. We got issues that's way beyond in depth that a human being can't fix. Things that have gone on and transpired in your life, Martell, God is going to have to fix that. You're everywhere but in the house of God. You're everywhere but dealing with God. You're too busy scheming and plotting and letting the devil keep getting into your mind on the next scheme, the next plot. That same energy that you're using to try to destroy your ex-wife, that's putting a burden on your life. Because keep in mind, every time you stay on Mel, you can't move. Let me give you an exception to this. If somebody's laying down on the ground, picture somebody's laying on their stomach, and you stand on top of that person while they're laying down. Now, you may feel powerful because you're standing on that person, right? That person can't move. That person can't go anywhere because you're standing right on top of them. Keep in mind that as long as you're standing on top of them, that also means that you can't move either. As long as you're on Mel Martell, you can't move either. I'm going to need you to, for once, you're going into 2024. How long are you going to keep entertaining the succubus? Do you not realize she was the reason of your downfall? So what makes you think that because you have a divorce now, that if you continue to keep her around, all of a sudden things are going to get better for you? Ariane was a curse then, she's a curse now, and she will continue to be a curse to you. I guarantee if you get away from her, you will see doors open up. But when you get away, you got to stay away. Because Martell, you like to play games. You can't leave her alone for 2-3 months and then come back when God start looking out for you. Like I said, it's men who've gone through divorce. It's men who did wrong. It's men who messed up. You're not the first to have a child outside the marriage. It happens. There's several men out here who done messed up, and God still blessed them with a second chance at life. Still blessed them with good wives. Still blessed them with good families where everybody could be happy and move forward. But the problem is you won't let go of your succubus. And I'm going to let you know. And when you do, if you ever decide to let go of the succubus, she is going to go ham. And you're going to have to be man enough to accept that. Because Ariane is not going to handle it well. If you want to have power over something, that's what you need to get power on. You need to get power on letting her go. And leaving her alone for good. Nothing wrong with saying it was good, it was fun while it lasted, but we both have lost a lot significantly. I can never be the man that you want for me to be because I was never your man to begin with. Let me tell you something. The succubus is very demonic. She's not going to handle it laying down. But if you mean business and you put your foot down, she ain't going to have a choice. She's the reason for your downfall. Arion air mattress was a female demon sent on assignment to destroy you. I know you don't look at it that way, but if you think about it, what have you won? I'll wait. Like Arion said, I'll wait. What have you won? Name one thing that you have won. If you can name something you won since you lost your marriage and you still fornicating with the succubus, then we don't have to have this conversation. She was sent on assignment. And one thing about the devil knows what's appeasing to you. The devil is not going to tempt you with something that you don't like. The devil can't tempt me with cigarettes because I don't smoke cigarettes. The devil can't tempt me with crack because I don't do crack. But can the devil tempt me with chocolate cake? Absolutely, because that is what I like. That's the same thing. The devil knows what appeases to your flesh. The devil doesn't have to send you something disgusting and unattractive. He knows that's not going to be appeasing to you. And same thing with women. The devil don't always send you unattractive men. He will send you attractive men that are very demonic. That was assigned by Satan to destroy your mission that God has in store for you. That's what happened with Martell. Martell never was in covenant with God the whole time, even when he was married to Mel. He was never in the spirit. He was always in the flesh. And that's what ultimately gave Arion air mattress the advantage in being able to infiltrate that marriage. Because he never was in tune with God to begin with. He was all about himself. And this is where it is right now. So anyway, I'm over an hour and 6 minutes, y'all. It's imperative that men are aware and cautious of the succubus. Keep in mind that the succubus is not going to always be unattractive. The succubus is going to be appealing. It's going to be attractive. It's going to be very appeasing to the eye. And all it is an assignment sent from the devil for the succubus to carry out. The only assignment for the succubus is to destroy your marriage, destroy your life, and destroy your legacy. So don't fall prey to the female demon known as the succubus. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to get ready to shut it down. Leave your opinion below. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit the like button before you leave. If I think I need to do a part 2 on the succubus, I will most likely probably do that. I'm also going to do a part on the incubus. I want to talk about sexually demonic men like Martell, or men in general who seek out vulnerable women and use their sexual devices in order to lure and capture women into dealing with them. So we're going to also talk about that, because we have a lot of women who are also getting manipulated, who are also being taken advantage by a lot of these men who are sent on assignment to destroy you. It has happened to many women that I know. It's been women who have been fooled by men because they look a certain way, dress a certain way, or make a certain amount of money. And you think because a man has a certain job, drives certain cars, you automatically have this assumption that this is the kind of man you should be with, not understanding that the enemy, the devil, sent him on assignment to be appeasing to you, just so you will feel vulnerable enough to allow them to become a part of your life. And by the time you find out, after everything you have lost, you have fallen prey to an incubus. So we're going to be talking about the male sexual demons as well, known as the incubus. So anyway, y'all, leave a like, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think of today's content. It is your girl, your diva and knowledge lady, Mocha. Represent Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Make sure you like, you share, subscribe. Again, if y'all need cable, don't forget, reach out to me. I have my own cable app. Over 12,000 channels, only $27 a month. Stop giving these cable providers almost $100 a month. If you got a Fire Stick already, I can send you the information to the app to install it. Or if you need a Fire Stick altogether, hit me up, inbox me. Let me help you save some money. Stop paying these cable providers almost $100, $150. It's ridiculous. Anyway, y'all, talk to y'all later. Y'all be blessed.